As we come down to the G20 summit, there's been a lot of focus on the building behind me, the Bharat Mandapam. It was constructed and renovated essentially to host the G20 summit, now making it the largest convention center in the world. I visited the Bharat Mandapam and I can tell you, I can vouch for its beauty and its grandeur, lit up like never before. You can see that we've created a virtual Bharat Mandapam here in our studios. The real building is much grander and more beautiful. These are live images coming in right now of the Prime Minister having returned from Jakarta in Indonesia, touching down in the national capital. With just hours to go for all of our world leaders to return and to come to Delhi. You've got the Prime Minister returning after a power-packed visit to Jakarta for the ASEAN summit. There's been a lot of focus on the Prime Minister's hectic schedule as well. So now he's back in Delhi. We're being told that the Prime Minister will be now immediately getting down to action to figure out whether we're fully set for the G20 summit. He's been personally monitoring, reviewing all preparations. So right after this, from the Palam airport, the Prime Minister is going to be making his way to a review meet as well on all the setup that's been made in the national capital for the G20 summit. Busy schedule, busy times for the Prime Minister. He flew down to Jakarta for just about a 24-hour visit in which, of course, several big takeaways came in from the India-ASEAN summit and interacted with diaspora. Now he's back in the national capital, knowing full well that the next few days is extremely crucial for India. Aishwarya Paliwal is joining us live from outside the Bharat Mandapam in Pragati Maidan, beautifully lit up, I'm sure, Aishwarya. We're just getting in images right now of the Prime Minister back in the national capital, and it's back in fact to work for him. He's had barely any time to rest. He's touched down now in Delhi, and we understand that he's going to be making his way in for a review meet for the G20 preps now.
Well, working round the clock, Akshita, that's something that the Prime Minister has mastered over the past many years. And what we will see today, the review meeting that he will hold today, is a testimony to the fact that now he's touched down, and the first thing that he wants to do is to make sure that everything is tip-top. Now, the theme for this G20, Akshita, something which has been pasted and plastered across the national capital, is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means that one earth, one family, one future. The entire motto is this, the entire national capital is lit up with these kind of images, the G20 logo, almost everywhere, everything is lit up, and the review of what will happen over the past 3 days is something that the Prime Minister will do. Now, the security, let me tell you, Akshita, is top-notch. Everyone has now been asked to make sure that they have the ID cards, 9th and 10th, the entire NDMC area, the national, the central Delhi area will be fortified. Now, everyone is making sure that things are on top. If we speak about the kind of arrangements that have been made, especially foods, if we speak about the food, Akshita, this is the year of the millet. The United Nations had said 2023 is the International Year of Millet. So millet's also coming to the fore. Apart from everything that India will speak about, the soft power that, we are showcasing, through all these things, we will also be making sure the governments, in fact, are working to make sure that a very strong framework comes out by the end of it. And India definitely leaves a big legacy when we talk about the G20 summits, which have been held before, and the G20 summits, which will be held in the future. Akshita.
And the Prime Minister closely monitoring all that's happening at Pragati Maidan as well. He's had a hectic schedule, participating in a meeting of Council of Ministers as well as a cabinet meeting yesterday. After back-to-back meetings, he took off for Jakarta last night at 8 p.m. Less than 24 hours, he's back now in the national capital. So a whirlwind trip to Jakarta, but the Prime Minister putting the focus on diplomacy. And that's why making it a point that he was a part of the ASEAN summit despite the hectic schedule and despite the hectic times right now in the national capital. He's back now, and today, as he's touched down just minutes ago in Delhi, we're being told he's now going to be a part of a review meet to ensure everything is in place for the G20 summit and for the world leaders reaching tomorrow in Delhi. So the Prime Minister also is going to be closely reviewing the preparations and setup at the iconic Bharat Mandapam right now.